Mr. Freese is just going to videotape so that we can see the work that we're doing, okay? And the teachers will share it with Mrs. Olson too so she can see. And what she might do, she might be able to try something like this with the rest of the class, okay? So, Mrs. Olson told me that you have been working hard with word problems. I actually saw that you were working on some word problems in your journal this morning. We're going to do some work with word problems as well. So, today we're going to work on some addition and subtraction problems. And our learning targets, we have two, are I can choose when to use addition or subtraction in a word problem. So sometimes you have to decide, does a word problem have us use addition or subtraction? And then I can solve word problems with unknown numbers in different positions. Do you know what that means? What does it mean, Matthew?
Like numbers that aren't really, that don't really have, usual numbers. Usual names.
Usual names. Well, they're going to have some usual names, but sometimes what's going to happen is I might tell you about Abdil, and Abdil might have had some, what do you like, Abdil? Mario keychains. And then Matthew gave him some more, but I'm not going to tell you how many more Matthew gave him. But
You've got to guess.
Well, you're not going to guess. You're going to figure it out, and that's what we don't know. That's our unknown.
Are you going to count how many
You got it. Yeah, I'm going to do that. And then what we'll know that we're successful when we can solve word problems with unknowns in different positions. So we're going to be able to do that. It doesn't matter if that's at the end of the number sentence, at the beginning, or somewhere in the middle. We're going to be able to do it. You ready to get started? Okay. You have some cubes in front of you. You have a marker in front of you, an eraser, and a board to use. Right now you can put your marker down, and we're going to think about our problem. I'm going to explain the work map for you. And the work mat is going to help us to solve our problem. So look at the first space. At the top of it, it says started with, because sometimes I'm going to tell you what we start with in our word problem. I'm going to give you a number that we might start with. Matthew, can I hold on to that for you? We'll keep it right here so it doesn't bother you, okay? Thanks. And then what's going to happen is there's going to be an action. Point to where it says action for me. Okay? Something's going to happen. The action in the one I described to you was Matthew gave you some more keychains. And then we're going to end up with a result. What might the result tell me? Grace.
It might tell you how you could count it.
Well, we're going to have to figure that out, how to count it. What might it tell us, Mia? The number, how many we had, maybe all together, or how many we had left after something happened. So we're going to try this problem together. It says, Jen planted 7 flowers. It's springtime now, so we want to start thinking about flowers. Then, Tom planted 6 more flowers. And I want to know how many flowers were planted. So what I want to do is figure out first, what did we start with in our story problem? Go back to our story problem and think about, what did we start with? Matthew, what did we start with in our story problem?
7 flowers.
We started with 7 flowers. Can you use your cubes to show me 7 flowers, please? Okay, and put them in the started with, because that's what we started with.
All you could do is rip it off.
Can you put them in here? What's that?
All you could do is rip it off.
Yeah, that's fine. Can you put the rest of them up at the top for me, just so they're out of the way? We're going to keep them flat so they don't fall. Yes. Oh, you counted by 2s. Excellent. Oh, perfect. Maybe we're talking about her and planting some flowers. Can you put them in the started with so we know that's what we started with? Excellent. What was our action? What happened in our story problem? What was the action, Amia? Tom planted 6 more. So what could we do here? What could we do there, Grace?
Hit 6 keys.
Do it for me. Okay. Can you keep this all together for me and then Grace said that we should put 6 cubes, so. They're kind of tough, huh?
Not now we got 13.
Okay, well Matthew, could we put those in the action one? Because that's what happened. Matthew planted, I'm sorry, Matthew didn't. Tom planted 6 more. I am? Oh, you know what? I didn't even notice that. All right, so now we want to know the result. What's the question that's going to ask us what the result is? Can somebody read me that question? Mia, go ahead.
How many flowers were
So what could I do to figure out how many flowers were planted, Adil? What could I do? Count what? Okay, but what am I going to count? Am I going to count the ones here, or am I going to count the ones here? So you're going to count both of them? Okay, go ahead and do that for me. Okay, put your hand out this end. You got it up there? You were trying to count by 2s. Oh, sorry, Matthew. All right, I know they don't even have the same outfits on. So I want to know how many flowers were planted. How many, Grace? 18? Go back and check that. What'd you get? Do it one more time. Count it out loud for me. Let her count. 13. Matthew, did you get 13? Adil, 13? And I saw Mia that you got 13. If I wanted to write a number sentence for this, so I could actually move these all over to here, but I'm not going to do that yet. If I wanted to write a number sentence, how might I write my number sentence? How might I write my number sentence? Matthew, what do you think?
7 plus 6 equals
What was it? Adil, what was it? 7 plus 6 equals?
13.
13. So what I did is I knew that my result was what was missing, and I said 7 plus 6 equals 13. Mia?
I knew it was 13 because if it was 6 plus 6, it was 12, so it's 7 and 12.
Ah, you know your doubles plus 1, huh? Can you write the equation for me? That's excellent. Can you write it for me? The equation or the number sentence? And I put this little box here because I knew that was my missing number. All right, great job. Now that was kind of easy. You guys did great with that. What I'd like you to do is move these off and use your eraser and just erase this, and we're going to try another problem. Okay. Ready? Once you're ready, have your cubes up top, markers down. Show me you're ready. After you're ready, markers down, please. You don't need a marker right now. Can you put it up at the top? Can you put it up at the top, please? Thank you. Okay, ready. Another spring one. Bob had 7 worms. Does anyone collect worms? You do? Okay, so this is perfect. Bob had 7 worms. His friend gave him some more worms. Now, Bob has 15 worms. How many worms did his friend give him? So what I want to do is I want to put our cubes where they go on our work mat. So first of all, Bob had 7 worms. Where are we going to put that on our work mat? Matthew, I see you already did it. Where are we going to put Bob had 7 worms?
On the started with.
How come?
Because the started with 7.
He started with 7. Go ahead and do it for me.
copying me.
You know what? We just think alike, I guess. That's all right. We'll get that afterwards. Can you do that for me? We must think like we must count the same. You think so? Okay. 7. Okay. And his friend gave him some more worms. What would that be? What would that be? Would that be the action or the result? Would that be the action or the result? Abdil?
Action.
Action, why?
Because we, the second number has to like, not that. Okay,
Matthew, put your hand up, please.
don't remember.
You're not sure? Okay, why is that the action? Why, Mia?
Because you're doing a thing, so it's like you're adding something or subtraction.
Oh, I love it. She said you're doing a thing. You're doing something, so you're adding or subtracting. We don't need our markers yet. Okay? So, what should go in here? Do we know what to put in there?
Yeah.
Grace, what should we put in here? Is that what his friend gave? It says his friend gave him some more worms. Mia told us that's the action. What do you think? What's our action? Does it story problem tell us? It doesn't tell us. So what can we do in here? What do you think? Skip it. You know what we might do? Is I usually put like a little question mark at the bottom. That lets me know we don't know what's happening yet. So can you do that with your marker? Just put a little question mark. I know you do. All right. And then it says now Bob has 15 worms. What does that tell us? What does that tell us? The 15 worms. What does it tell us, Mia? I mean Grace, sorry.
That we already know because his friend probably
His friend probably gave me. So our result, our final product, what he has at the end is 15 worms. So how can we write this as an equation or a number sentence? How can we write this as an equation or a number sentence, Mia?
7 plus 8 equals.
But do I know what's 8 yet? You do. I'm going to do this. 7 plus, in the box, equals 15. Could you write that for me? Go ahead and do that for me. Now Mia already told us she thinks it's 8. What I'd like you to do is see if Mia is right and show me how you solve this problem. So Mia, you already figured it out, I think, in your head. Could you do it with your cubes and show me what you could do? And same thing, Adil and Matthew and Grace. Can you show me how you would figure this problem out? We know the result is 15. We know that Bob started with 7. We want to know how many his friends gave him. What you doing, Grace?
I'm trying to put it right here.
Oh, okay. So how many did you start with? Did you all add them all to here? That's okay. But so how many did you start with? 7. So keep your 7.
8.
So start again. See if it works. How many did you have? 7 where? Here or there? Both. So what do we want our result to be? Because it told us that Bob has 15 worms. Do you have 15 worms? Count them for me. Show me how many were in the action part. You don't have any more? Could you show me, you have 7, right? What was it, what did you do at first, Mia? I'm sorry, Grace. Because I watched you do something, you just put them all here. You had your 7 here. What did you do next? Adele, let's be patient, please. What did you do next, Grace? I saw you doing this, adding ones here. What were you doing as you did that? Okay, so you had 7 here. What did you do when you added another one here? What did you do?
I put another one.
How did you know how many to put? Because I saw you have 7 and then you added a bunch more. How did you know how many more to add?
I just was adding a couple because I was going to get some.
Well, what were you trying to get to?
I was trying to get 8 over here.
Oh, you're trying to put 8 over here. But what did we start with? How many did we start with? 7, right? So what did you do when you added another one?
I added 7 because I added 8 because that's what I think was how my best friend gave them.
You added 8 because you thought. Why did you think that, Grace?
I thought because
Why? You said you thought there were 8. Why did you think there were 8?
because because 7 plus 15, 7, and then there's 3, and then it has to be 8 because that's how you add 15.
What do you mean by that?
Like 7 plus 8, I think.
So you have 7 here, you have 8 here. Double check that for me and make sure it equals 15. Could you count them for me? Do you have your, how many do you have here? I think
7.
altogether you have how many? 15. You have 7. And then what were you trying to do, Matthew?
I put them together so I know there's 4,
Okay.
and then another 4, so it's 8.
Okay. So what were you trying to get to though?
8, so
What are these? Are these?
not part.
Oh, not par. Okay, that's why I was confused. So Matthew, prove to me you have a 15. That Bob has 15 worms now.
I counted them all.
Can you do it for me?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Okay. Abdil, could you tell me what strategy you used? You got started right away, and I saw you do something.
I took some more cubes and I put like some right here. I put 8 right here in the action.
Okay.
And I put some right here in the.
But how did you know to put 8? You didn't know to put 8 right away. I watched you do something. Can you tell me what you did? You did this. You said, and I heard you. What were you doing?
I can see that I can hear numbers saying their names.
You were doing that.
Without saying them.
Well, I heard you saying them, which was great. So you had 7 here. How did you know how many to put here? What did you do? Could you show me what you were thinking and what you were doing? You didn't? Did you do this? Say 7. What'd you do next? Okay. So you knew. So if I wanted to know how many worms did Bob's friend give him, Mia? How many? Matthew, right? Okay, so you had your 8, you just put them right there. All right, should we try another one? So our equation, our number sentence was 7 plus what equals 15? We figured out that blank was, well, it'll work, I promise you. If not, we'll switch, okay? Could you erase for me? And then put your cubes up at the top, markers down. And we'll try that next one. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
10 butterflies.
Oh, hold on, Matthew. You're doing a great job reading. Maybe we'll let Matthew read this one. Go ahead, Matthew.
10 butterflies were in the garden. 4 flew away and went to the pond. How many butterflies are still in the garden?
Okay. We need to find out how many butterflies are still in the garden. What's our start? What did we start with from the story?
10
Oh,
butterflies.
Matthew, I was going to say you read it for us. 10 butterflies. Show me your 10 butterflies. 10? Okay.
Too much.
Too many cubes? All right. And then what I'd like to know is what happened, what was the action in the story? What was the action in the story? Mia? What's that? Did they? 7 did? How many? Some. Does it tell us how many flew away? Grace, it doesn't tell us how many flew away? Abdiel, could you read that second sentence for me?
4 flew away.
Does it tell us how many flew away? It does. So our action is that 4 flew away. I have my 10 here. What do I need to do to solve this problem? Our result is going to be, we want to know how many butterflies are still in the garden. What do I need to do? My action was 4 flew away. My action was 4 flew away. Write it for me. What should I do? Well, Abdiel put the question mark at the end. He said we need to figure that out at the end.
I did that.
Matthew, sorry. Okay, if you'd like to do that, you can do that. So what do we need to do to solve this problem? We have 10 butterflies in the garden. 4 of them flew away. We want to know how many are still in the garden. Matthew?
We could just count them all together after you put 4 in the action.
Let's try that. Let's try it. Matthew thinks put 4 here and then count them. So there were 10. 4 flew away.
1, 2, 3, 4. Now you got 3.
Huh. Abdiel, you did something different than we did. What did you do? Matthew said, well, we'll put 4 in here and then we'll count them, because that's what we've been doing, right? But Abdiel,
This way now.
I'll get you, you can switch with me. How's that? Here you go. Abdiel did something else. He put a subtraction sign here, a minus sign, and then he actually took some away from here. Abdiel, why did he do that? Matthew, why did he do that? He didn't do what you did. He said he had his 10. Matthew, watch. Close your marker. And I want you to tell me why he did that. He started with 10. He didn't add any more over to the action. He actually took some from here. How many did you take, Abdiel?
4.
Abdiel actually took 4 of these away. And he has how many left, Mia? Why did he do that, Matthew?
Because he wanted to
Let's let Matthew.
he wanted to make sure that he still had 10, so if he took 4 away, he would still remember that he had 10, and then he would and then he could just add 4 more into
to the 4.
Okay, 4 more, you mean to the 6?
No, like into
Oh, 4 more here. Okay, but my question is, he decided to do something different. He said there were 10 butterflies were in the garden, so he had his 10 here. And instead of, with the action, he knew that 4 flew away, so he took 4 and did this. Why did he do that, Mia?
Because he wanted to make sure the minus, because Matthew was doing like plus and he was doing minus.
Well, which is right? Why is the minus right, Grace?
Because the some of the because 4 butterflies flew away.
So what happened? I started with 10, and if 4 of those 10 flew away, Matthew, am I going to have more than I started with or less than I started with?
Less.
Can you show me on yours, please? Show me with your cubes. Don't worry so much about the writing.
wait, what?
That's why you need to listen. Starting with your 10, you said that, what did we have to do with that? You showed me on the bottom. What did you have to do? 10 butterflies were in the garden. Show me your 10. 4 flew away. Show me 4 that flew away. Okay, and I want to know how many are left. How many butterflies are still in the garden? Grace? 6. All right. Can you write the equation for me? How would we write it if you haven't yet? How many are left in the garden? 6. Okay. All right, boys and girls. Mia.
My mom taught me a trick about this kind of thing.
She did? What was it?
If you know what pluses are, you could know what the minuses are. Because if it's the same numbers, if you just know what it is plus, then if it's like the same numbers equation, then you can go to the minus like that thing.
So, oh, I love it. Fact families, you said, so if I know that 10 minus 4 equals 6, what else do I know, Mia?
That's 6 minus 4 equals 6. 10 minus 6
10 minus 6
is equal to
is equal to 4. Matthew?
My dad taught me a trick.
Okay, let's hold off on the trick, and when we walk back to your classroom, we'll you can share that trick with me, and if you have one, Grace, and if you have one, Abdul, we can share them. Let's go back to our target for today. Today you had a chance to work with our cubes, and you worked with a work mat. Did the work mat help you?
Mm-hmm.
How did it help you, Grace?
It helped me by because if I like to go away, it would be like easier because if I had like 10 here, you could just like take 4 off and it would just be easier
And
to do it. It would just be easier to do on the mat instead of like on a piece of paper.
okay. All right, well, let's check and see if we met our targets. We said that we would know we were successful when we can solve word problems with unknowns or missing numbers in different positions or different places. Show me a thumbs up if you think we did it. We hit our target. Show me, yeah, kind of, or not so much. What do you think? Did you hit it or not? Well, show me. Oh, you know what? You're showing me like a number top. Excellent. All right, boys and girls, please connect your cubes into groups of 10 for me. And I'm going to actually share this with Mrs. Olson. Do you think